Hi guys, Tyler here, back again talking about growing in intimacy with Jesus. Today I want to talk about trusting the Lord with all your heart. And I think I want to talk about it in a way that is different than reimagining trusting the Lord with all your heart. What that really looks like and how it actually changes our lives. And I just want to say, I am groping for things in my own life. I'm not coming to you guys as the expert of these things. I may look back on these videos years from now and be like, "What was I thinking?" But at the same time, I know I'm reaching into things that are deep and they are real and they're further into the direction that the people that want to grow with the Lord are than we have been. And so I'm just launching out in these videos. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know I'm doing it because in doing it and putting these thoughts out there, from my own heart, I know I'm reaching into something and stepping out in faith. And I know that it's bringing something forth that other people are going to find and be like, that's it, or that is more of it than what I have seen. And I know that it's going to have a result, an effect. We're planting seeds. So anyways, with that in mind, I want to, like I said, I want to talk about what it looks like to trust the Lord with all of our hearts. So here's how I want to start. Now, this was difficult to do because I'm sure there's a way to reverse the screen so that when you write in a normal direction, it reads in a normal direction, but the screen flips itself, so I had to write it backwards. But this circle represents everything that is created in the world. And what we do, I believe, when we come to the Lord often, is we say, Lord, I have this tiny little slice of the pie, and what I really need is I need more. I need you to fix this thing. My life is not working, and I need a little bit more of the pie. Can we figure out how I can get that? And that could be a lot of things, obviously, and I'm not going to fill in the blank because there are just so many things that we can be asking the Lord for in our lives. And see, the problem is, guys, that no matter how big a piece of the pie you're looking for, no matter what part of the pie you're looking for, you're only, when your mind and your heart are separate from actually being in Jesus, you can only see what's already made. And although there are good things, God created a good world, there are good things in this pie, it has nothing to do. It's so limited, it's not even including the mind of Jesus in what he has for us. It's like we're playing three-dimensional chess if we flatter ourselves and think that we are actually playing three-dimensional chess. But God is playing 1,000-dimensional chess. And so here's my other profound drawing. See the little dot there? That's the pie. And this is a way underestimation. This is the pie, but like the page goes on forever of the actual mind of the Father, the mind of God. Right? And we're like, can I have a bigger slice of this? And he's like, we gotta get past that. All right, so I want to begin by telling you a story. This is an embarrassing story. Don't tell anyone that I know, that I know personally, this story. And if you're watching and I know you, forget you ever heard this. No, this is such a great example of what it's like to follow the Lord, to take a step in the direction of following the Lord with all your heart. And it's really embarrassing, but it's true, and it really illustrates things the right ways, and so I just have to tell it. So, about a decade ago, so a long time ago, I would never do this today, I was at this conference, this Christian conference. It was really anointed. The speaker was just exhorting people to step out trusting the Lord with all of your heart, okay? And my wife Audrey and I had already really done this. We had left our whole life, my whole ministry, everything that we were doing in order to pursue Jesus with everything that we had, and to not allow the gatekeepers that I've been talking about, those that wanted to create parameters around which we were allowed to pursue the Lord, to hold us back. And I don't need to go into all that right now. But bottom line, the preacher at this conference basically said, you need to give, and we could talk about the validity of what the preacher was doing, but putting that aside, you need to give a gift to the Lord, to this ministry, that really puts your whole faith into his hands. Now, I don't want to talk about whether that was right or not, or the theology of that, or any of that, but I want to tell you what happened, okay? So we decided, my wife and I, and we were living kind of paycheck to paycheck at this point, because we had left everything in faith, and we were starting over, and it was like big steps of faith at that time. So we didn't have big savings at that time, okay? So we decided we were going to give every penny that we had. We were going to give it all to the Lord, trusting that he was leading us into a life where we would really have him, okay? And so we wrote that check, and we put it in the offering basket, and it was a real widow's mite. It was not millions of dollars. It was not a lot of money, but it was all that we had. Okay. And so we put it in the offering basket, and we're like, all right, Lord, we're all in. So we go home, and we lay down in bed, about to go to bed, and then it suddenly hits me. Well, I put in everything that we had, that I thought we had, but I had forgotten that it was the end of the month, and we also have a credit card bill this month, and there are $3,000 that I forgot to account for when we wrote that check. And so not only had I given everything that we had, I gave $3,000 more than we had, and we were now in the red. And this is really embarrassing, guys. It's hard to even talk about it personally. It's fool for Christ. I had 3 kids. I was married. This was it went from a step of faith to a step of gross, irresponsibility, right? And foolishness. And you can imagine how I felt. I was mortified, like despising myself, in shame, and I almost couldn't even tell Audrey because I didn't want to scare her, and it was bad, okay? But let me tell you what happened. So again, we had taken this step of trusting the Lord. Now, I had given him everything that we had in the world of what I knew, okay? But what I had actually stepped into, and by the way, this is not me recommending that you should do what I did, okay? What I did was moronic, okay? But what I actually had stepped into was everything outside of the pie, right? I had put myself in the place where I didn't have to do that, in order to step into this place. And that's what we're going to talk about at the end of this video. But I did, through that act, we did step into the place where we were in the mind of Christ. And this is what happened, okay? Now, we were in a panic. I was in a profound crisis of what am I going to do to make sure that, we pay our bills and we're not going to lose our place, our apartment, and, and be able to put food on the table for our kids, etc. What happened was, the next morning, I got a phone call from the financial advisor of my parents, who I hadn't spoken to in, a decade. I've only spoken to him once or twice my whole life, right? I knew his name, right? Anyways, he calls me and he says, Tyler, your parents, they had a savings account for your college account, but the way these accounts are set up, they're in the child's name, not the parent's name. It's actually your money, and it's been sitting in an account for over a decade now since you've been out of college. And I just saw it and I realized, like, you should do something with this. You should know about it, right? And so, anyways, there's $3,000 that's been sitting in this account for over a decade. Just wondering if you want me to do something with it, or if you had a use for it. And I was like, well, it just so happens I do have a use for that money. And guys, it was basically to the penny. It was to the penny, the exact amount of money that I had overspent, foolishly putting everything in the Lord's hands. And what the Lord said to me through that experience was basically, I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. I'm playing a dimension of chess that you can't even conceive of. It's never entered into your mind. You're in safe hands, Tyler, when you put all your trust in me. And so what am I saying, guys? What I'm saying is that it's not about making sacrifices. I'm not talking about going all in for the Lord, like drive yourself into the ground. What I'm saying is that there is what we know, there's what's already made in the world, and then there's a place, this is the place where we're outside of Christ, and we only see what already is, and we're trying to figure out how to make this work. But there's a totally different place that God is calling us to. It's called the mind of Christ. It's the heart of God. It's the place inside of him where he already has it all figured out. But he's not going to... What we want is, I'm going to give my life to Christ, and then he'll put all of this in my hands. Like, he'll help me understand how to get all this sorted out. Like, if I give my mind to the Lord, he will help me wrap my mind around all of this, so I've got it figured out. But that's not how it works. How it works is, we surrender to a relationship with the Lord where we don't have it all figured out, and yet we can live in perfect peace and rest because we are knowing the one who does have it all figured out. So I want to finish with this. I was thinking about all this in reference to the Israelites in the Old Testament, the second generation, the ones who did take the promised land. The first generation, when the Lord's like, you are not trusting me, you're not going into the land, they're like, all right, I'm sorry, we'll go take the land, we'll do whatever you want, right? And they try and go into the land without the Lord, not in the Lord, and they get their butts whooped by the Canaanites and all the people that are in the promised land that are bigger and stronger and smarter and more fortified and more protected and have it all figured out. They can't do it without him, right? The second generation, they're like, all right, we saw what a utter failure that was from our parents. We know we have to just do it your way. We're going to trust you, right? And there's so much we could say about that, but just if you go and read the book of Joshua and how that unfolded, that they successfully, unbelievably conquered people that were in every way more people, bigger people. They had fortified cities. There was no way they could take the land. Just miracle after miracle, the Lord taking the land. But this is what I want you to see about it. The Lord did not tell them the game plan. He did not show, all right, first you're going to go attack these people, then you're going to go attack these people. This is the strategy against this group. This is this group's weakness, and this is how you can get in and take them down. It wasn't like that. It was just step by step. There was a pillar of fire and smoke. There was the presence of the Lord, and he would speak to them, and through the relationship, he would say, now do this. Now I want you to do this. Now go in this direction and attack this people. This is how you're going to take that land and conquer these people. It was always one step at a time. It was always focused on the relationship. And this is the part, guys, that's such there's no way I can express to you with words what this looks like and what it feels like and what it is like. Only an experience of the Spirit can reveal it to you. And that's why in these videos, I'm groping. I'm spending time just silently waiting on the Lord. I'm inviting you to turn to Jesus and allow him to bring you into what it is to know him. He's not revealing the pie, what is already all the stuff. He's not revealing how to take it, how to get the peace that you really want. That will come. It will come. He puts desires into our hearts so that he might prove to us that in him, seek first the kingdom and all the rest will be added. But he won't give you the strategy on how to wrap your mind around the whole thing. Unless he wants to for some reason, I don't know. I'm not saying he can do whatever he wants, but what I'm saying is that what is so much better than the strategy is being in him. And when you're in him, even when you blow it in a heartbreaking, just like earth-shattering to you, shockingly terrible way, like giving away more money than you even have to give, he's got it all in hand. He can turn everything on a dime. So what he's looking for is for us to come to that place. I so desire for that place in Jesus to be revealed to you. And I'm asking the Lord daily for the courage to surrender more wholeheartedly to that place where even if I'm faced with something that is just totally beyond me, I know of no way where I can take that land, conquer that giant, where in my heart, my unconscious response is to say, what are we doing, Lord? To have such confidence in him, to so know the reality of him being with me, that instead of drawing in to the panic of how I'm going to figure this one out, I'm turning within to the joy and the confidence of a new revelation, knowing we're going through this together. We're knowing I'm with him, knowing he is with me. I am without a clue. I don't have it figured out. See, part of the reason people get limited into their little slice of the pie is because they think at least they have this part figured out. At least they can handle that. I've got the game plan for this sort of game, and I'll just stay in my lane. And it's like, well, your lane is either slavery in Egypt or wandering in the wilderness aimlessly for your whole life, right? Like our little bit that we think we have figured out is actually imprisoning us apart from the great and glorious destiny that God has for us. So, Lord, I ask that you help us to give up control and to turn our hearts and our minds, our souls and our spirits over to this place where you are right now. You're already here. Help us to humble ourselves and to open ourselves up to where you are leading and to what you have for us. You can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, but we're going to have to do it your way. We're going to have to let you lead us. We're going to have to surrender to your method. But when we do choose that path of surrendering, there is suddenly a way where there wasn't a way that we saw before. So guys, let's just sit together for a few moments and open our hearts up to what Jesus, who's here in our midst, wants to show. You know, there's multiple places in the epistles where Paul says, you've already been given all, don't you know you've already been given all things? We've received every spiritual blessing in the heavenly realms. And the thing that I think we hear that and we're like, well, I must not be an inheritor, or I must, like maybe I'm not in Christ. Maybe I don't know the Lord. We go to this conclusion. It's like, well, I don't have all the stuff. Like, what does that mean that I have them all? But it's because the Lord's not looking to tuck it neatly in your back pocket. He's looking for you to embrace the one who has it all figured out. To learn to live trusting the presence, the person that is here and has he has already seen the beginning from the end. He's got it all figured out. And if we will abide in him, it will all come and unfold in the right way in due time. I pray, Father, that you would help me and everyone that is finding these videos and everyone that's not finding them but is seeking these things. Lord, help us to perceive the fact that you're already here. You already love us. You are already fully open to us, completely reconciled. Your hands are open and you're holding them out to us, longing to embrace us, wanting to help us let go of our perception of the pie, of what's already out there, and how we want to get our hands into it, and just embrace you instead, because you have already got the whole thing in the palm of your hand. You're able to change everything in a day and make it just the way that it needs to be. But you're not looking to put it all in our hands. You're looking for us to be in your hands and for you to be in ours, and for the rest to unfold just the way that you are desiring it to for your glory. So anyways, guys, I hope that encourages you. I hope to be back again soon with another thought from the Lord, another invitation from Jesus to surrender more deeply into what he has for us. And I hope to do that soon. God bless you guys. Till then, so long.